What's going on? It's Miles Comics. Today is another glorious new comic book day, and this one's extra glorious because we have the Marvel release of the Spider-Man Superman crossover, which I'm very much looking forward to. We also have a lot of independent goodies, such as the first issue of the brand new miniseries Corpse Night, which I'm so excited for. I've read the synopsis. It sounds super good, so I can't wait to pick it up and read it. We also have the last issue of Exquisite Corpses. Then, of course, we have issue 13, which I think is the final showdown. But, we have the last of the tournament in this issue, which I can't wait for. And of course, we have Absolute Wonder Woman coming out. And, I'm actually pretty excited for Absolute Flash this time around just because of the way that issue 13 ended. Unfortunately, none of my homies could participate in New Comic Book Day today, so it is a solo mission to the comic shop today, but do not worry, it will still be an eventful adventure. I think we're going to get a lot of cool stuff. I'm going to try to get a trade paperback or a couple of cool back issues, so we'll see what I get. And it's just going to overall be a super good day. However, before we get into this week's comics, I think with a week like last week, we got to look at the top 3 polls, because last week was just filled with absolutely goated stories. Starting it off in third place, I have Fireborn issue 1. I think this was a phenomenal first issue that really engages the reader into the story of Fireborn, while also cluing the reader in onto how the Lost Fantasy universe is going to interact with this story. But I do think the writers could have done a little bit more of a better job of cluing in completely new readers on how the Lost Fantasy universe works and what it is, because I think there was a little bit of disconnect between the two. Then in second place, I have Battle Beast issue 8. Everything about this story was absolutely phenomenal. The writing, the pacing, I cannot wait for issue 9. It just leaves on such a great note, and it's phenomenal. I think everyone should be picking up Battle Beast, even if you're not an Invincible fan, because I think it's just in general a great action comic that could be read and thoroughly enjoyed anywhere by anyone. And of course, in first place, I have Absolute Batman issue 19. For some reason, last week, I didn't think this was going to be the poll of my week, but it always is. The story just leaves on not kind of a cliffhanger, but it just leaves you in such a large amount of anticipation for the next issue every time, and it was just super action packed. I love the introduction of Scarecrow. That was super sick. He is a bad guy, man. And I just can't wait to see how Absolute Batman develops in the future, especially in the year of 2026. And now, for the first time ever, I am introducing a segment into the video. This one in particular is where I introduce to you guys a comic book recommendation that I think will just hit a little bit harder in this specific week. And this week in particular, I do a Powerbomb written by the legendary Daniel Warren Johnson. I feel like I talk about this book so much, but in this week in particular, it's the middle-ish beginning of spring, and it's really hitting, all the trees are finally growing their leaves back, all the flowers are blooming, it kind of makes you want to cry, and I feel like that's what this book makes me want to do. It's just so beautiful, and it's super sentimental, kind of like trees growing their leaves back. So I think giving this a read next to a park or something might hit a little bit harder. And now it's about that time, because I unfortunately do not have a car. I have to go take the bus, so let's get right to it. We have started the journey to the comic shop. It's a solo mission today, so I got to go take the bus, but it'll be a good one. Goodbye, ducks. And just like that, we've arrived in Boulder, on my way to my local comic shop, Time Warp. Look how beautiful those mountains are. Oh my god. One of my favorite cities for sure. Oh fuck, I clicked the wrong one. I see the lucrative Time Warp. We are rapidly approaching, hell yeah. Boom, boom. We are here. time to get our weekly pulls. And just like that, I've picked up my comics plus a trade paperback. So let's get headed back to the crib. This city's so beautiful, I love it. Thank God I live 15 minutes away from it. Soon I'll hopefully live in it, but you know, that costs money. So for now, I'm just a bus ride away. I've officially copped all of my comics and spent all of my money. So now we're just waiting on the bus, and then we're gonna read these Johns, review them, you know, give a little bit of commentary in the works. So see y'all later. And just like that, we are back from the comic shop. What was a blink in the eye for you guys was a lot of buses missing my stop for me. So that led to me being delayed a lot. So sorry about that. But, you know, we got a pretty fat haul. I got 6 single issues and 1 trade paperback. 2 are independent, 2 are Marvel, and 2 are DC. So we have a very evened out, you know, level field for the single issues today. And I did get 1 Image trade paperback. So let's get right into the haul. Starting it off, I have what most people consider the issue of the week. I know I definitely do. Spider-Man, Superman, the Marvel release of the Superman Spider-Man crossover. I only got the A cover because this issue was a ridiculous $8. It does contain a bunch of stories by people like Brian Michael Bendis, so I'm sure it's worth its price. But, you know, it still definitely is a steep price for a single issue. The cover isn't my favorite, but it's definitely not the worst. I don't really particularly love this all-new, all-spectacular banner right there. But, you know, nonetheless, it's still definitely cool. I can't wait to give this a read. Next, also in the Marvel family, I have Cyclops issue 3. I've been really enjoying this miniseries, and this is one of the only Marvel single issue miniseries that I'm picking up right now, just because I think it's really good, so I can't wait to also give this one a read. And I just think that cover is super sick. I think this was a good old $3.99, which is a little less for a Marvel comic, which I appreciate. And the story's been, you know, pretty phenomenal, so I don't know why they would do that, but I'm glad they did. Then I got one of my favorite issues of the month consistently, Absolute Wonder Woman, issue 19. I'm super excited to read this. I've looked through it just a little bit. It looks to, you know, carry on the arc phenomenally well. I can't wait for, you know, this arc to be concluded just so I can know how it concludes, which says a lot about how phenomenal the story is. It makes me excited for the next one consistently. Then I got Absolute Flash, which I've honestly been finding trouble, you know, engaging in consistently. But issue 14, I'm actually super excited to read, just because issue 13 looks like it has a lot of potential to create a really awesome arc. So I'm gonna dig my heels in and give it a try. I really hope it's good. Then getting into independence, I got the amazing miniseries Corpse Night. I've already read this, you know, on the way back on the bus because I was super excited. It's a phenomenal book. Super excited for the second issue. I'd recommend you pick it up if this went by your checklist. It is a super amazing read. I think it's going to be only contained in 6 single issues. It follows, you know, little bit of a synopsis, no spoilers. It follows, you know, a girl and her dead dad. That's all I'm going to give you. And finally, for the single issues, I have Exquisite Corpses issue 12. This was supposed to be the final issue, but there is a 13th. I'm super excited to give this a read just to see how this tournament ends. If it ends, I'm not sure. And, you know, obviously I'm excited for issue 13. This is like maybe the most hype I've been for a series in a long time. And for the only trade paperback that I got today in the end of my haul, I have Volume 2. I've been really enjoying this series, and my local comic shop has a bunch of them on clearance, so I picked up Volume 2 because Volume 1 was really good. And now, without any further ado, I think we should give this phenomenally thick comic issue a read. Spider-Man, Superman, I'm super excited. Let's see what it's about. And just like that, I finished the A story in Spider-Man Superman. I could confidently say this was a super spectacular read. It was super heartfelt at the end. Even in the middle, the conversation between Clark Kent and Peter Parker was really deep. Just the situation that they were in was pretty grim. The way that they were able to communicate was super awesome. And beyond that, it was just like that ending. It really, just because it's a callback. The ending is a callback to the middle of the issue, and it just resonates with you. I think it's resonating with me a little bit more than it should, but that's fine. I think this was an amazing issue. I can't wait to read the additional comics in this. I just wanted, for the sake of time, just read the A story, give my opinion on that. I think you should definitely pick up this book just because of the amount of stories in it. It's definitely worth your while. Also, of course, get a bag and board with this. It might be a tight fit, so maybe get like a Silver Age one. Hold on, let me show you. Let me show you what it's like trying to put this in. And I just ruined my comic forever, but whatever. And just like that, we are at the end of another YouTube video. I can't believe this is my fourth one already. It's kind of feeling like a routine now. I think you guys are kind of getting the routine. I hope to see you guys a lot more later, and peace out.